Alright, folks, we're back for Mega Man. We're in Mega Man and talk about whatever. Last time I did some politics, and I'm not sure if I sounded very coherent. I got a couple of interesting comments about Gen Z and where we are with this generation. But I think, I think I'm just gonna talk about my life this time around. I actually got this thing to work properly, so I'm not on like some random sketchy site. This is a more well thought out. I don't know how to say this on YouTube. Let's just say that this might not be an NES that I'm playing on, as anyone can hear the analog stick. Fuck. But I've been feeling extremely nihilistic these last couple of weeks, and I think a lot of it has to do with anxiety. So I don't know how many of you guys are actually in a relationship with a lady friend at the moment. I imagine that some of you are, some of you aren't. I know that you guys like to watch this channel for like my takes on red pill, whatever the hell. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's time for me to take a break on the red pill because that shit gives me some serious anxiety. Like, no shit. Oh, I just missed a bunch of good stuff. Cause like, how do I put it? So I think that the red pill gives you a good slice of the pie on what's true about the nature of... Oh, crap. I see what this does. This guy gives you the light that you need to know how to get forward. But I think that the red pill gives you a slice of the pie on how human sexual interaction, human sexual dynamics sort of work. But in my experiences, you know, dating women, I think... There's a good portion of the red pill, at least, you know, from my experiences, that's a little exaggerated in the sense that I think that, you know, just like men, a lot of women are just looking for a guy to, I don't want to necessarily say settle down with, but someone they can cuddle with and go to when they're stressed out and feel like they can talk about their life's problems. I mean, yeah, I think that there's something to be said about, you know, women wanting a strong man or a man that isn't overly emotional, because women are already... you know, much more emotional than men themselves, generally speaking. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just noticing how vastly different most people are. God damn it. And knowing that, you know, some people really genuinely want to identify with, you know, traditional masculinity, and other people are more like these artistic types who kind of go against social norms and think that a lot of the gender roles between men and women are kind of has been, and there are different ways of going about it that are just as effective as, like, you know, the housewife sort of breadwinner dynamic. I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Oh, I fucking hate this board. Hold on one second, I'm definitely gonna die, definitely gonna die, damn it! Damn it! God damn it! Oh, and my camera's gonna die, so you're only gonna get like a couple minutes of actual me. Oh, well, whatever. Yeah. And the reason I say it's time for me to take a break from the red pill is, I think on one hand, it does tell you to be your own mental point of origin, and not to blame women for, you know, all of your... Well, not to blame them for illogical reasons. I mean, like, you know, I understand that hypergamy is the sort of idea that women want the best bang for their buck because there's already, you know, a whole plethora of men that are jumping after them. I am so not doing well at this. But I think that, you know, I've met intellectual women, I've met more autistic women who don't really care for Tinder, who genuinely want to preserve themselves, and I think that they're aware of their own nature such that, like, I don't know, it's like the red pill kind of tells you this about women, and women don't even realize it about themselves. And then you talk about it with, like, you know, a woman who's better at abstracting than, say, like, you know, most. And then she tells you, like, yeah, well, I mean, you know, some of that's true, but just because I'm really into some... just because I'm looking for the best bang for my buck doesn't mean I'm going to, like, lose interest immediately if the guy isn't, like, an emotional statue and has, like, this, sort of comportment to him that, is almost unhuman, non-human. I don't really know how to put it. And I've sort of experienced this with, like, Eureka a couple of times, you know, so I'll be talking to her, and, you know, I really try to be strong for her. genuinely, God, I hate that thing. By not being overly emotional and, you know, complaining too much and being needy, etc., etc. And I've been open to with it about her. I've been like, hey, you know, sometimes I just genuinely want your affection. Sometimes I genuinely want a kiss from you. I mean, like, we're not in the same space because we've been separated for, like, God knows how long now. But she's like, hey, I don't have a problem with that. Like, if you need to cry, or if you need to get something, if you have, like, an emotional episode here and there, it's not going to bother me. I mean, like, that's human. I think, oh, this is probably so painful for all you guys to watch. I'm not good at this game. It's probably really painful. Sorry, the thing about Unica is, you know, obviously, you know, no one finds someone who cries and complains all the time attractive. But just because you do it once or twice or, like, occasionally doesn't mean that your girlfriend's going to be like, oh, well, actually, I prefer Chad. I'm going to go cheat on, you know, my boyfriend because he cried, you know, that one time, like, 3 months ago or whatever. It's like, you can make, Jesus Christ, I hate this fucking board. And so I'm not being very coherent. I'm, like, kind of doing a stream of consciousness as I play Mega Man at the same time. I mean, and if anyone wants to join me for a stream one of these days, like, please let me know. It would be really fun to talk to somebody else and not be in an echo chamber for once, because I'm sure that a lot of you guys are listening to me and are like, well, I disagree with that. I think that's a terrible point, Tristan. You sound so uneducated and blah, blah. I'm dead. Yep, I just exploded into, you know, I don't know how many. Let's try a different board, because this sucks. This fucking sucks. I think that's ugh. Alright, I wish I knew. Metal Man? I don't know. Let's try Metal Man. But I think a lot of these guys kind of give you an idea of women, that they're all the same, that they all think alike, and that you have to employ the same sort of tactics to be successful with, like, basically all women. And I don't think that's true. I think that, you know, just like men, we vary a lot by personality. And accounting for the difference of personality, you don't have to, you know, stress about women being completely screwed because of, like, Tinder and all that. It's like, I think that there are women to avoid, obviously, just as, like, you know, there are men to avoid. There are, like, low-quality men out there. But I think, one, it's too one-sided, and, like, it doesn't give enough nuance. It doesn't account for enough nuance in human personality to be, like, accurate. And I think that's why there's a lot of black pill folks who think that there's absolutely no hope for them, because, you know, there's this idea that women are all the same. Like, you go, there's, like, this thing called Black Pill Wiki, I think, that I found once, where it's like, it says ridiculous things like women are majority attracted to, you know, tall white guys, statistically speaking. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not gonna necessarily disprove statistics on this site. And yeah. I mean, like, I am technically a white guy. Well, I'm 75% white, but, like, I don't have blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm relatively confident in myself. I mean, I like to really play up the what's the word for it? Really play up my social anxiety on YouTube, because, I mean, like, it's a coping mechanism, but, like, in my real life, I try to hold it together and be a little bit more presentable. But, you know, like, in my experiences, I mean, like, yeah, Tinder was never super successful for me. I mean, like, I got a couple of matches when I used to use it back in the day, and I was never, like, terrible with it, but, I don't know. Some of you might have some serious disagreements with me in the comment section, and if you do, all I ask is for you to be respectful, because I don't go onto my, I don't go onto this YouTube channel claiming to know everything. I just throw my opinions out there and, you know, hope that maybe I change someone else's mind, or maybe, like, through the comments, you know, somebody else changes my mind. But yeah, all that to say is I just think it's a little, I don't know, maybe defeatist, one-sided. You know, the whole idea that unless you have $1 million, you're 6 feet tall, you exercise every day, you're confident, you're emotionless, and la-di-do, like, you'll never find a woman. Like, that certainly can be idealized for someone to want to achieve, but there's room for mistakes, and, you know, if you find a good girl, she'll probably be understanding, and, you know, there are obviously a lot of red flag women out there. I know that some of you who watch my channel are familiar with me having dated somebody who, well, needed to work on herself as much as I needed to work on mine. And I think coming out of that relationship, if she watches this channel, I want her to know that I have nothing against her. I hope that she's doing great in life. I just, yeah, the two of us needed to move on from who we were, and I think that in the toxic relationship that we both found ourselves in, you know, it was, God damn it, this is just never gonna end. You know, we both came out of it like, okay, you know, now we know what not to do in an intimate relationship, and now I'm with my current girlfriend, and she's kind of a dream, you know. I mean, trying not to be too idealistic with it, because I know that, you know, no one is perfect. And wait, shit, how do I have to drop? Please don't tell me I have to drop. Okay, that's the second time I've died there. You guys are probably going crazy. I'll try something else next time. But yeah, because I think that, like, there's some men who get seriously resentful when they engage in this content, like Alexander Grace, Rollo Tomasi, Entrepreneurs in Cars, and you see this guy, and like Entrepreneurs in Cars, for example. I have a lot of respect for this guy, and if he watched my channel, he would be like, just so, probably laugh it off. It's like, oh, who the hell is this scrawny ass, self-deprecating kid playing video games to tell me how to, you know, talk to my audience? Because obviously he's been through hell. But, you know, I just think that emotionality is genuinely important in humans, and when I watch content like that, like Rollo Tomasi, where they tell you that, you know, women have absolutely no patience for male emotions, like, I don't think that's entirely true. There's obviously time and place, but you can show your emotions and be, you don't have to be this stoic bastard. I'm kind of going in circles here, sorry. But the moment I started to, like, open myself up to Eureka, for example, because, like, in the beginning of the relationship, I was like, oh no, she's hypergamous and we're never going to be able to, you know, be in this idealistic relationship that I have envisioned in my mind because of what Rollo Tomasi said. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not going to be in a Disney fairy tale, but if I'm at least honest with her and I just try to be, like, honorable to myself and, you know, not be too... Let's just try. Let's see what happens. Nope. Up. Okay. That is what you're supposed to... Damn it! Wow, that was annoying. Well, look, if you just trust yourself, trust your own values, you're not a dick, because that's what a lot of like these channels tell you, is to be a dick, to be toxic, to cheat, to, you know, not be faithful. It's like, no, well, I mean, I don't think that's really fair if you want to have a trustworthy relationship with another human being. It's like, yeah, there are differences between the genders, but I think in terms of morality, I mean, just because you want to prove to your girlfriend that you're a high-quality man doesn't mean that you're going to have a mistress or sleep around. I mean, like, unless someone else can find, like, a good justification for that, maybe I'm still blue-pilled by our egalitarian society a little bit, but I just feel bad, you know, when I do shit like that. You know, if I ever cheated, or, you know, like the other one, I think I said in the last video, is, you know, not... Rollo Tomasi will tell you not to say I love you, right? Because you lose frame with your girlfriend. If you said that I love you, you're, like, kissing up to her and you're telling her that, like, she is more valuable than you. And I'm like, that is just such bullshit. That is, like, the most cold-hearted bullshit I've ever heard come out of, you know, the mouths of some of these people who run these channels. Among all the good advice that he has given, and probably the lives that he has saved, I really disagree with it, because of something that my father used to tell me when I was younger. So for you guys who've made it this far in the video, my dad lost his brother when he was 16. I might have mentioned this in my I Love You video, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but my dad lost his little brother when he was 16, because his little brother went to summer camp, and like, my dad was my little brother was supposed to go to summer camp. My dad had the choice of, like, apparently visiting him or going along to that summer camp, but instead he stayed behind to work his summer job because he wanted to save some money. So while he stayed behind in Milwaukee, my uncle, who I've never met, ended up getting hit by a car in the middle of a baseball game during that summer camp, and my dad told me that just suddenly one day, like maybe a week or two later, my grandmother came in while he was working, and he found that kind of odd, and kind of, well, just bore the news, when that's the right past participle. And I think what hurt him the most from that is, like, I think he wish he could have spent a better last moment with his brother. Like, maybe I think it was like he didn't say I love you, or he was getting to that point. It's like, you never know the last time that you're gonna see somebody. You never know. And when they're gone, like, I've lost a couple of friends. I wish I could tell them just one last time, like, hey, I really love you, and I appreciate the friendship that we have, and I know that I'm full of bullshit and I haven't been the greatest friend at times, but deep down in my heart, I really have your best interests in mind. And I think that goes for my girlfriend too. It's like, maybe I'm not going to say I love you all the time, how Rollo Tomasi will say, like, I love you, babe, I just want your validation. That's the sort of case that I think he makes, if I'm not strawmanning it too hard. But it's like, you can at least say it, god damn it, you can at least say it, when you're saying a goodbye, or you're not sure if you're going to see her for a while, because what if she does, get into a tragic accident? You really never know. You may say that the probability is low, but that tragedy strikes people all the time, and it could be you. And if you're, like, adhering to this rule where, I'm not going to say I love you to my girlfriend because otherwise she's not going to love me anymore, I'm like, fucking ridiculous bullshit, man. Like, that is the toxic. Like, honestly, I don't like the term toxic masculinity, and I don't think that that term usually applies, but if we're going to talk about, like, a toxic form of behavior that is that is explained in, like, a masculine perspective, like, don't show emotions and shit, the whole not saying I love you thing is just kind of ridiculous to me, because, like, what if tragedy does strike? Like, what are you gonna think? She's no longer there. It's like, wow, I don't know if she ever knew how much I loved her. She died probably being a little insecure about how much I cared about her, It's like, she should at least have that, man. I feel like that's healthy in a relationship. Maybe that's just my intuition, but that's just something that really bothers me. And, like, I tried applying that rule last year, because it's called, like, the fuck is it, the 10 iron rules of Tomasi. I can't think of the name. It's like, I'm totally gonna die, god damn it, this guy's too fast. Yeah, I'm not. This is man, I just got my ass kicked. I think it's like the 10 rules of Poon, or the 10 rules of Coon. I think it's Poon. I'm pretty sure Poon's an offensive word, but yeah, and that's just one of them. I'm like, living your life strictly by, like, a list of precepts is pretty I don't know. I hate this guy so fucking much. God damn it. It's like, he'll tell you that, the red pill is not an ideology, and, like, if I just go on my phone here, right, and hold your horses, guys. I'm not going against the red pill, but I definitely think that it's too rigid. It's too rigid, and it takes itself so seriously that people just don't want to hear anything that goes against it. Any counter argument, any preemptive counter argument that might, like, change somebody's mind or go against what you've been taught. But really, like, hear me out, guys. All right. Like, I know I can already feel the angry comments coming, the people unsubscribing. But if I type in the term ideology, right, ideology into Google, and I look for the definition, right? So, a system of ideas and ideals, especially one which forms the basis of economic or political theory and policy. And, like, I guess we can kind of use the term more political. I would say philosophical theory, because, I mean, this doesn't necessarily relate too much to politics. But it's like you're given a list of rules and to follow them, and I mean, isn't that kind of by definition sort of ideological in a sense? Like, don't stray away from these rules, or else you're guilty of sin, of not original sin. And I don't know, man. It's just, I'm kind of going on a long tangent here, but I gotta write this down in a little notebook, because when you're playing a video game at the same time and trying to formulate thoughts, it doesn't always come out as perfectly as you want it to. But, oh, yes, of course, the horns. But I think that there are genuinely some good things that have come out of this manosphere, but also other things that people just, I don't know. It's like there's really little excuse for like real, like genuine misogyny. In the same way that feminists can be misandristic, I think that these there are some red pill types who take it way too far, and they'll say like, oh, if she slept with more than 3 women, she's ruined. It's like, really, dude? She's ruined? Like you don't know that, man. It's like I could see how somebody promiscuous sleeping with like 30 people could be kind of questionable from like an evolutionary psychology perspective. Yeah, it's like, maybe she's more likely to cheat because she likes having a lot of sex. But like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 people, like that's below average for I think even like the United States and most Western cultures. And you're gonna say that she's absolutely ruined because she slept with 3 or 4 guys. It's like, all right, dude, like, I guess you have high standards, but it's not like you can't have a conversation with your girlfriend, like an intellectual conversation, and set some boundaries. Like, hey, how has your sexual past affected you? It's like you just gotta find an intelligent woman, and they exist. In the same way there are stupid men, there are stupid women. In the same way there are intelligent men, there are intelligent women. And this like, black and white divide of the genders is, I don't know. It's like, yeah, there are evidently differences, and I'm not like a hyper progressive type who's going to tell you that they don't exist. But, like there is some overlap, at least, from what I've discerned. What do I do? What the fuck do I do here? Okay, that was weird. I guess I just died. And I'm not trying to sound angry or anything. I just, like, if I can clarify my point, by the way, everybody who's listening to this, like, I'm not getting upset because I think that it's poisonous to women. It's or that it's just outright wrong. I'm like, I think that this hurts guys more than they realize. Like the whole idea of like I said, not saying I love you, and the sort of, I don't want to say the word prejudice, but more just, like, it starts as a form of caution. Like, you become more selective with your girlfriends, and then, like, I think it kind of develops into a form of, like, resentment towards women, in the sense, it's like, oh, she's a woman, she thinks like this. It's like, well, maybe she's more prone to thinking a certain way, but never forget that human beings are not so black and white, and I wish I could word it more intelligently than I am capable. But that just seems to be an issue. Like, there's not enough. Maybe there is. I'm just not looking in the right place. But there seems to be, like, a lot of truth, and then a lot of exaggeration, and then God damn it, I'm just playing like shit. Yeah, just. Oh, man, people are gonna rip me a new one on the internet if I post this. Whatever. I've already been destroyed by like hundreds of thousands of people on other threads. I'm ready. I'm ready for all the fucking hate I'm probably gonna get from this. But yeah, I don't like radicalization, and I think that's it. There is genuine radicalization in the manosphere, and I think it needs to be managed a little bit because I'm not. God damn it! Just fucking stop regenerating! Ugh! Christ! This is genuinely starting to piss me off. Sorry. Anyway, I kind of half-assed this point, but alright, folks. I will continue this. Hopefully, if there's anybody in the comment section who wants to, like, join me for a podcast, please let me know. You can DM me at Tantris Humble TV on Instagram, or just leave a comment on YouTube, and you can email me, however you want to do it. But yeah, no, it's always a pleasure to have you guys on, and I hope that you enjoy me sort of challenging opinions in an agreeable way. Like I said, I mean, I don't think everybody's going to take very kindly to this, but it's just, I just feel I'm worried about radicalization and true hatred of women, because in the same way that I don't like the resentment towards men of feminists, it's the same way for, like, you know, the really mindless manosphere types who just, you know, angry about, well, I don't want to say everything, but the fact that they haven't gotten laid in a long time. And I feel for you, man. We can talk about that. So anyone who wants to challenge me or whoop my ass, you're welcome to. Just let me know in the comments and we can talk, and I'll have you on for Tantris Cast. Otherwise, thank you for watching my horrible gameplay of Mega Man. Okay, bye-bye. Cringe.